Morning, everybody. How we doing? Here we go. I'm trying to get us all pulled up here. There.
As we are giving other nail professionals a chance to join the broadcast, if you would please share the broadcast to your own page so that your fellow nail professionals can find the broadcast. As you can see, we have a special guest in the iPad today that I know you'll be very excited to chat with. I'm going to refresh the nails for me and start sharing on my pages. Did you already share?
Shared. I think Jan's excited. We are so excited to have Jan. I think Jan's excited to be with us. I hope she.
We are.
Yes.
We're getting our nail on.
That's right.
To have an hour to talk to the most amazing nail professionals on the planet. Are you kidding?
Exactly.
Start a week better than that.
That's a great way to start a Monday.
Yes, we love our broadcast Mondays when we get to hang out with all the nail people.
Yes.
So fun.
Let's see.
Looks like some of our regulars have already rolled in. Morning, gang. All right, I'm pushing the share button. There it goes. Oops, wrong button.
It's so much fun to see the regular names start popping up. It's like, oh, there they are.
Well, and it's nice to have regulars because then they can like give us some feedback about the growth. Like,
yes.
Oh, you guys finally are doing a little better on your technical stuff.
I don't know how you do all that technical stuff, girls. I'm very impressed.
It's definitely a team effort.
Yes, we've been learning on our way.
Well, we've got contraptions everywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
it's
definitely
such
what it
an
feels
odd
like.
day here in San Diego. It's actually, they are predicting that there will be water coming from the sky.
Oh,
They
wow.
rain, which we never see.
That should feel strange then.
well,
Yeah, it's weird.
Central Iowa just got, I don't know, I think your town had 11 inches of snow. I think ours had 8. So we had white stuff coming from the sky over the weekend.
Amazing.
There we go. Hi from Greece.
Hello.
From South Africa.
Wow. Did you guys have white stuff over the holiday?
No.
No, it came after.
Weird, right?
It was like in the 50s. It was really warm here.
Yes.
Amazing. So now we celebrate winter.
Yes.
Oh, Morgan says it's 17 degrees and sunny in Maine.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, nice.
She's got us beat for cold
Almost, but at
temperature.
least a little
I think we're in the
solar energy.
20s.
Yes.
Right?
Wow.
Definitely a good time to make sure you're using your moisture packs with your nail oils and your favorite hand creams to make sure
Absolutely.
we're not getting all cracking knuckles. Ugh,
Yes.
that's no fun at all.
Solar oil to the rescue.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to put some on while we wait,
Perfect.
if you don't mind.
No, absolutely.
Not at
Go
all.
for it.
Little
So-
moisture treatment.
We're about 5 minutes in, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the broadcast and welcome people as they join us throughout the hour. To get started, just a reminder, this is the NailOn broadcast with Holly and Mel, and we do this the second Monday of every single month here live on the Nails Magazine Facebook channel at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And luckily, the internet has this really cool thingy that will check out the time for you and tell you what the time change is in your area. Also, we put this on a YouTube. We now have established social media channels for NailOn itself, and so you can find the past NailOn broadcasts on YouTube if you should happen to miss the live version. We like to usually kind of give you a heads up on education that is coming up, and luckily I just happened to write a blog about upcoming education for 2019, so I'm going to pop that blog link right into the comments for you guys so that you have actually links to all the education events versus us just listing them off. And so the blog will have links to the pages for those different education events. And if you find one that I missed, please do as some of your other nail professionals have done and post a link to the event that was missed in the comments so that nail pros can see what's missing. And what other news did we have? Oh, really exciting. I know that not everyone that watches is a C&D user. However, I have some really cool C&D news. They've started a blog. And the amazing thing about the blog is it's geared towards all nail professionals. You don't even have to use C&D products for the blog to be useful. It has great business tips. It has cool nail art tips. Chalkboard Nails has the featured blog up at the moment, and she's got some really cool nature-based nail art ideas using her nail eyes. She has such great nail eyes. I just love Sarah. She's so much fun. And so I'm going to pop a link for that into the comments, because I would love for you to check that out. You might know one of the blog writers. So definitely be sure and check it out and let me know what you think. Let me know if there are things you would like to see on the blog in the future, if there are some business things you'd like help with, or some nail technical things you would like help with. We would love to cover those on the blog. All right. Whew, that felt like a lot. I need a break.
Okay.
Your turn.
So now to get on to our guest of honor for the day. We are so thrilled to see that we have Jan Arnold, the co-founder of C&D, joining us today. Thank you. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for starting your Monday morning with us. It's 9 a.m. where you're at. Hope you didn't have to get up too early to come join us today.
Are you kidding? I would have gotten up in the middle of the night for you.
Oh,
Aww.
thank you.
We actually have some nail professionals that do that. They join us from New Zealand.
Yes, it's like
I can
So
5 in the morning or something there when they watch us.
We're very flattered.
Yes. So
well, when you talk about what you know with the two of you ladies, so much talent, we do it when we can do it, and it's a joy. Thank you.
Jan made a comment on our Instagram that said she was looking forward to having the NailOn Queendom unite. Like, I like that, the NailOn Queendom. We can go.
Here
We
we
can.
are.
Yes.
I love it.
So I don't know if many of you know this, but C&D is turning 40 this year. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever you want to call it. That's awesome. So
Isn't that amazing?
when we contacted Jan and asked her if she would join us, we asked her what she thought would be a good topic. We let her pick the topic, and she thought coming up with 4 pillars of success, 1 pillar for each of the decades for C&D. So we're going to be talking about the pillars of success that she has come up with, and we're going to be doing our best to take comments and questions from you, the viewers, as always.
Mm-hmm.
But Jan, would you like to start us off, or would you like me to start off with what our...
And just a quick insert note.
Okay.
It is the 4 pillars of success as they have applied for Jan and C&D, but it's also, we're going to discuss how these pillars of success can benefit you as a nail professional in the salon. So don't pop out if you're not a C&D user. It's still going to be a broadcast for you as well.
Yes, the information is universal, even if you're not nails, if you're hair, if you're wanting to start some other sort of business with your crafts. Yep. These all still apply because it's valuable information.
Yep. This is definitely a business broadcast.
Yes.
Yeah, totally, ladies. Thank you for saying that. Well, as I sit here in my office in San Diego, right up the road in Oceanside, California, we started C&D. When I say we, it was my father's brainchild. It was my family, my brothers. Everyone was in on the deal, and it's really incredible that it's been 4 decades, 40 years. I'm in disbelief. But what a blessing to be in the nail industry, to be surrounded by nail professionals who bring creativity and motivation and inspiration every day. And as I look back on the 40 years, those 4 decades, what business lessons there are to glean. So I'm hoping that I can share some of the key pillars that really led to our success. It wasn't always easy, so maybe I can share a few bumps in the road as well. But more importantly, how to live your dream, how to see a path and find your way to the moon. That is always the goal at C&D, and
Excellent.
for me especially.
Excellent.
So the 4 pillars are, I'm just going to briefly be innovation, positivity, commitment and professionalism. So we're going to start off with innovation.
Yeah, innovation. I think it is absolutely the key pillar on which we have built our company. In preparation for our time today, I looked up this word innovation. Like, what does it truly mean? It means new methods, new ideas, potentially new products. Innovation means transformation based on creativity, originality, ingenuity, inspiration, and inventiveness. I think when you innovate, you step out of the box of convention and you dream. And I think that is one of the key lessons that I have gleaned from my time at C&D, these rich 40 years, is that when you wake up in the morning, when you go to the salon, or when you go to work every day, you don't expect to see what you saw yesterday. I feel like my job every day is to keep that dream alive, keep it fun, embrace the passion that we have for this industry, to think differently. And, when you innovate, sometimes it's scary because you have to pioneer, you have to think new thoughts. You step out of that box. You feel like you're teetering on the edge sometimes. But when you take that step and you dare to be different, you dare to try on a new idea, it is amazing what you can achieve. And I almost look back, like all the way 40 years ago, and I think to myself, naivete was bliss back then. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Exactly.
We didn't know that we couldn't achieve in everything we tried. So we had this blissful vision, this blissful belief that in being innovative, we could make great things happen. And by way of an example, our very, very first product back in 1979 was a brainchild of my dad called Solar Nail. Now, what was interesting at the time in the nail industry is there were only single link polymers in existence. Single link meaning all the molecular chains only went in one direction. And there was a manicurist that went to my father, manicurist at the time, that's what they were called, and she said, when I create nail extensions, what they used to call them, or actually they called them porcelain nails back then, when I create these long nails on my client, I have three big problems. Number one, they're inflexible and brittle. Number two, they're thick and fake looking. And number three, here we are in California where the sun is usually shining and they turn yellow when exposed to sunlight. And my father knew absolutely nothing about nails. I knew a little bit about them because I was wearing nail enhancements at the time. I had a college friend that opened Happy Nails in the San Fernando Valley. But my dad used his sense of logic. Let's look into the product she's using. Let's discover where the weak link is, which is the fact it was a single link polymer, and let's figure out how we can do something different, how we can innovate, think uniquely. And what did he do? It sounds so logical now, but he took those single link molecular chains and he cross-linked them. Think about that. You go from a single strap on a lounge chair where you could fall through, or you can cross-link that lattice work to give you resiliency, flexibility, color stability, impervious to solvents. What a brilliant yet super simple idea my dad had. And guess what? He took the idea, he shared it with his 5 kids, and he submitted for a patent, and he got it. And that's when, and I kid you not, my dad came to the 5 kids and said, "Oh, kids, I've got great news. We've got the patent on Solar Nail. It's rock solid." This was in '79. And I am going to give you the formula as my gift. But if you want to start a business, you have to go to a bank, you have to get a loan, and Mom is going to throw you out of the house. All these balls, get them out of her dining room. And indeed, that's what we ended up doing. We went to a banker, and trust me, I look back on that. I had learned how to do the sculpted nail. We were exchanging product with the Oceanside School of Cosmetology. I was learning all the principles as we were growing the business. And I did a nail enhancement on the banker's pinky. The guy thought I lost my practice. Who are you and what are you doing? And when I finished with the nail, as bad as I'm sure it probably was, he was blown away. He thought, this is a miracle. How do you take a nail that has no shape and no length, and within minutes transform it? And what is amazing about that experience with the banker is I was hooked. I was like, it's still today, 40 years later, watching a skilled nail professional, bead by bead, build a nail enhancement, create that architecture, create the design, find that juxtaposition between upper and lower arch. It still is one of my greatest passions, and that's what got us in the business. But innovative thinking, unique approaches to chemistry, the ability to go and promote it and share it with someone who knew nothing about it. Well, how that meeting ended up, by the way, is the banker gave us a meager loan. Mom threw us out of the house. We became official creative nail design, and sure enough, as a family, we were able to get this company off the ground. But it was because of innovation. And so exciting, right?
Yes,
it's very exciting.
And you're risk taking. No,
risk taking. I would say to be innovative, you have to be a risk taker.
Yes.
You really do, because, when you think, like, I look over our 40 years, so many times in our history where we dared to be different. We dared to try something new. Our chemists in our laboratory, they are creating new molecules every day to improve adhesion, to figure out how to lend, greater resiliency to a product. They're testing humidity levels in the natural nail. They're taking risks to find new paths, new ways. So I think to be an innovator, you need to have a pioneering spirit. You have to be willing to take a risk to be different. All along the way, you can be challenged and judged, particularly in today's world where communication is so immediate on social media. You've got to be really, really clear about your path, really clear about your mission, and to be able to try something new.
And have that grit to take the risk.
And how does that translate to you as a nail professional or as a salon owner? Innovation could be new services that aren't offered at other salons in your town, and the doing something different. One example of doing something different that I like is Nelly in Minnesota. He actually created a salon that is strictly pedicures. He does no other service beyond a pedicure, and that's definitely different. He was very much an innovator in that type of thinking. And so what could you do as a nail professional or as a salon owner that would be innovative or that would stand out in your town? Or if you're thinking about starting a business, it takes guts to start a business.
Yes, it does.
So this is where some of that would come into play. We would love to see some ideas from you in the comments of what you think would be ways of doing this in the salon. And while you're typing those comments up, we just want to throw out some of the hellos. We have a hi from Eastern North Carolina. We have a hello from New Zealand. We have hello from Grandmasters in Illinois. We have hellos from Phyllis and Kathy and Vonda. And 2 viewers are actually Vonda and Barb say hello from Oceanside. They're closer to you.
That's amazing.
So,
That is wild. You know, Holly, when you mentioned Nellie Neal, may I make a comment about
Please.
Nellie? Hi, Nellie, if you're watching. I'll tell you what I love about what Nellie does. He dares to be different in many ways.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yes. Yes.
What I love the most is Nellie charges what he's worth. He doesn't care what the salon up the street is charging. He doesn't care what the nail pro across the street is charging. He premium prices his services. And I remember one time he called me and he said, Jan, I have this amazing idea for a 24-karat pedicure. And he actually was using gold leaf with his exfoliation system on the leg. And as he would massage the leg and exfoliate, the 24-karat gold leaf left a gold sheen on the shin and the leg of the client that lasted for days.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
What did he charge? What did he charge? I think it was over $500 for this pedicure.
Wow, nice.
Amazing.
That's awesome. And that's something definitely that is important. If you are going to be innovative and offer services that are different, if you're even just a elevated level of disinfection can be innovated in some communities. And so when you're doing that, you do need to charge what you're worth and make sure that you're getting paid not only for your supplies, but your time. Your time has value. I know you guys get tired of me telling you this, but your time has value. So it's not just covering your overhead at the bare minimum and having enough for groceries or gas. It's literally making a living and enjoying life, not just scraping by. That's really important.
And realizing your biggest dreams.
Yes, absolutely. My biggest dream that I saved for the whole year is to go on the nail cruise and have no phone for 8 days.
Which you're doing when?
I'm leaving on Friday.
Yes.
Good for you.
So just the joy of having no email, no phone calls, no social media, like to truly be in the moment for 8 days with nail professionals, you learn so much because you're not distracted.
Yes.
It's really fun.
Well, so far we don't have any comments or anything about our being innovative, but we do have still a lot of hellos, Jan. We have Tennessee, New York, Oregon, Dubai, Newfoundland, the UK. So thank you everybody that's joining us.
Yes.
Hi everyone.
So while we're waiting to see if anybody else has comments towards your innovation, we can also talk about the creativity. Thinking creatively means you are bold enough to break convention. You can use your imagination and see in a new way. And this is Jan's quote, I believe that creativity requires curiosity and imagination, which I love. I never stop trying new things, never. When I don't have a client at work, if I have some downtime, I go over to my workstation or my nail table and start getting out all my things to play with. And my coworkers and my boss are all like, oh, she's in mad scientist mode.
Yes.
There she goes again.
Yes.
Yes.
But if we didn't have those people that are willing to do the mad scientist mode, we wouldn't have the innovation like CND.
Yes.
Like Jan's father and Jan's family.
Exactly.
Well, and if I may mention, some of the creativity that absolutely blows me away can be found in nail competition. You know,
Yes.
when I watch the NTNA and I see creativity, imagination, as soon as you think you've seen it all, these competitors just blow your mind. I should mention also that we're going into Fashion Week in a couple of weeks. We leave on February 7th. We're going to New York, followed by London, followed by Paris. When I see the collaboration with the designer, listening to their story, and then how our team can take that story and translate it into a new idea for a nail.
I love watching that. I love watching, following Fashion Week and everything that you guys do in the lab coming up with.
I
Well,
just
and
popped a link for Nail's Next Top Nail Artist into the comments.
Yeah, perfect. No, I should mention that when we're at Fashion Week and we're in the design lab, we are doing some wild and wacky things, but what it represents is ultimate creativity.
Yes.
So I feel in order to find like where I belong today, what I should wear today, what I should be doing today, I look to someone who's pushing the boundaries further than I am so that I can glean a lesson from that. And even, if you look at Fashion Week and follow us for sure during this extraordinary time, if you can take one or two great ideas that you can integrate into your own salon protocol, try a new color combination, try a new shape, a new texture, what's coming out of that design lab. You know how I view it? I view it like an extraordinary department store window. Go to New York, you see the Bergdorf windows during the holiday time. Would you ever wear the outfits exactly the way they're showing them? Probably
Exactly.
not. But could you take one or two great ideas on silhouette, on texture, on color, and apply it to yourself and for your clients?
That's one thing I'd like to interject about the Fashion Week. I actually learned this, I believe it was from Shalina Robinson, another EA, probably 10 years ago when she was talking about fashion and Fashion Week. That you look at those fashions on the runway and the average person just be like, I would never wear that.
Right.
Where would you wear that to? And that's kind of missing the point. What she said is you are to take that overall look and draw a component out of it. Like you said, a color, a texture, and make it your own. So when you're looking at these nails that they do at Fashion Week with the chains hanging off of them, or a few years it was the weapons all sculpted out of liquid and powder, the idea is not to duplicate that exactly. It's to take your take on it and make it your own. Be inspired by that stuff.
And utilize your nail eyes.
Yes.
Utilize your nail
Yes.
eyes.
It doesn't look like we have any questions, so let's move on to the next pillar and check that out.
Yes. So our next pillar is positivity.
Well, if anyone knows me, you know I am the eternal optimist. I am a positive person. I always find the glass half full, not half empty. If anyone dares to say you can't, no, there's no way, I will find a way to jump over those challenges with positivity.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, I think what we can all expect in our business is business goes up, business goes down, business can be a rocky road.
Yes.
We've got recessions, we've got changes in the government that impacts our business. But what I find is if you stay positive, and this is key, you keep your eye on the path that you can see, that path to the moon. You keep your eyes squarely on that path, on your mission. And it doesn't matter what comes your way. It doesn't matter the bump in the road. If you stay positive, you're going to find creative solutions. You're going to use innovation to get you through it. You're going to use your power of positivity to wrangle everyone around you to get creative and to see the future. And I find, and this is going to sound crazy, that sometimes the hardest, toughest times have been my favorite times because it shows who's thinking with inventiveness and ingenuity. It shows who really has a commitment to whatever that mission is. I find during tough times, you get closer with your comrades because you need each other. You need to band together and glean ideas from one another. During these times, if I think I have a brainiac idea, I take that idea to the comrades, to my colleagues that I trust and respect. And you know what happens every time? People will say, what a great idea. I see you, but now let me add my idea on top of it. And all of a sudden, what do you have? You have some new momentum. You've got new strategies that will make you a stronger team, It will make you a better business, and it will allow you to be more productive and stress-free in your life. When you're positive, when you're happy, when you're working together with your colleagues, if you have an issue with someone, for me, this is the biggest lesson I think I've learned in business. There's this book that I read called Eat the Ugly Frog. Take down that ugly frog. And what that means is every morning when you get up and you make your list of things you have to do, eat the ugly frog first. make
That's
that
awesome.
phone call that you were dreading making. You need to talk to a salon colleague, walk through the door, and have that conversation first. Because if you don't do it, what does it do in your mind?
It dominates your day.
Yes, you're dwelling on it all day.
All day long.
Yes.
It distracts you. It takes you to a negative place. Then the next day, you're like, oh my God, I'm such a loser. I didn't eat the ugly frog. And then it eats at you. And then a week goes by, and it takes you down.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really don't take anything else away from our time today, eat that ugly frog every single morning. It'll make you more positive, happier, more productive, and more fun.
Can you add that to
Very
our
true.
notes in the
Yes.
name of the book?
The ugly frog.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know
I'll
what?
find a link.
You know what? It's here in my office. I'll snap a photo and I'll post it on Instagram.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'll love it.
I
It's
jotted
awesome.
I jotted down the title.
And to find Jan's Instagram, I
Yes.
posted a link in the comments for you.
Yes.
Perfecto.
I'm grabbing that. So how does this translate into the salon for you, staying positive? We have one example in the comments of a nail professional that just moved areas. And that's definitely a challenge when you have to start back over from zero. When you've built your clientele, you've built your business, you're in that comfy place, and then poof, you're back down to square one. So what are some tips and tricks that those of you that have been successful in moving? I know a lot of nail professionals married to people in the military, or nail professionals that are in the military themselves. And so they have to start back over at square one more than once. Some tips and tricks from you guys for that viewer. Also, we have we're going to be live until about 12 o'clock or a little after
Yes.
Central Time, Sarah. And
So about another 30 minutes, give
yes.
or take.
And then another comment, we have someone that mentioned she'd like to have confidence, but is having to be at home as a nail professional due to fibromyalgia and some other conditions. So how do you charge what you're worth when you are struggling in that? One of the things I find really inspirational, Nails Magazine, I can't remember the nail professional off the top of my head, but if you go to the Nails Magazine website and do a search for fibromyalgia, there is a story about a nail professional that has overcome that and become successful. And I know that there are actually
that was just
several within the industry.
months ago.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
hasn't been that long ago. If you can't find it, shoot me a private message and I'll help you hunt for it.
Yes.
Some other things about being positive is if we're trying new things and we're trying to do things differently and be innovative in the salon, chances are good sometimes, like Jan said, you're going to fail. And it's not terrible that you fail. What's terrible is that you don't get up.
Or don't learn from it.
That you don't learn from it. Or that you decide not to be positive. And it's really frustrating when you're like, oh, I did this bad and now I'm bad and life just sucks.
Well, you know, we as humans, we do actually learn better if we do something wrong first.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something right the first time, regardless of what you're applying it to, if you do something right the first time, you may be like, great, yeah, but what did I do?
Right.
So if you do it incorrectly the first time, then you're like, well, I know not to do that again.
Exactly. And I feel like it makes you a better professional when you have
Yes.
those learning lessons, and a better business person. And it gives you more experience that you can pay forward and help other people with. One of my favorite memes is of the little baby holding on to its parents' fingers, and it says, can you imagine what society would be like if we all gave up trying to learn how to walk when we failed?
True.
Wow,
True.
that's a good one.
Yes.
it just really puts it in perspective. How many times does a baby fall before it starts walking? And sometimes they cry and sometimes they get right back up, you know? It's kind of like my son with roller skating. He came home, he's got bruises all over the place, and he's like, Mom, did you see that last time I went 3 little links before I fell? And so it wasn't being disappointed in falling, it was the excitement of a small success.
Yes.
So don't forget to celebrate your small successes as well.
Yeah, you know, Holly, when you talk about the roller skating and the falling, when we were probably only a 2-year-old company, and I, for the very first time in my life, I had to stand before 100 salespeople and deliver a sales meeting on Solar Nail. My dad was in the back of the room. My brother Jim was in the back of the room, and I had never given a presentation for that many people before. I had my script down. I knew what I wanted to do. And at the last minute, somebody shoved a microphone in my hand. And my dad used to say, Jan, you can't talk without your hands. Like, I'm always using my hands to express. And all of a sudden, I felt trapped. I had a microphone in one hand, the clicker, you know, with the old-fashioned slide machine in the other. And I froze and I choked. I completely choked. I had no voice. I could feel my heartbeat start to flutter. Yes. And I really crashed and burned. I forced my way through the meeting, but it was bad. And I went home. I was so embarrassed because my dad was in the back of the room. But I thought, I'm going to have to find a new career. I can't do this.
That's brutal.
It's too scary. I can't. And then I had that walking moment, that learning moment, where it dawned on me that as a kid, I was very shy. And my dad was very shy. And he said to me, Jan, shyness is the worst form of selfishness. The fact that you made that meeting about you and not them was your downfall. So when you're in front of people, when you're engaging a new client in the salon, when you're at a trade show with people, it is not about you. You are the messenger of your passion. You are the messenger of your business. But it's not about you. It's about your message. And boy, did I get up and walk. I realized that when I'm teaching or giving a presentation or just at a cocktail party, talking to people, it's about being authentic, about being true to your message. If you're talking about what you know and you're passionate about, then all you have to do is talk about what you know and have fun. Mm-hmm. And boy, what a turnaround. But to your point, Holly, had I let that get me down, I wouldn't be here 40 years later. Mm-hmm. It taught me such a valuable lesson, not just in business. Deliver your message with confidence and share it with people, but it's not about you. And, mm-hmm. you know, it's about them. And I'm simply the messenger. And now those connections are so rich because I can be present mm-hmm. versus worrying about me.
Yes, that's an excellent point. I really like that perspective.
Yes.
Before we get into the next pillar, I just want to really quick run through a couple things in the comments. One nail professional has mentioned, how long does it take you to build a clientele? So if some of you guys that are successful and you have a full clientele, if you wouldn't mind popping into the comments and letting her know about how long it took you to build that full book. For me personally, depending on which time I went to the salon, I was in out of school and then I was in again when I came back from retirement after having a kid. And so the first time it took me about 1.5 to 2 years to fully build a clientele because my nails were horrible. And it just took me that long to take enough classes to retain clients. But the second time it took me about 6 months to build a full clientele. So if you guys would please comment on that below, that would be awesome. And then we have another comment. Yes, it would definitely add to being more difficult to start from square one if you switched countries.
Yes.
My suggestion would definitely be to make sure that you look into local etiquette and local slang and local customs, because there may be things that you're used to doing or saying that could be offensive when you switch over. Like, one of the funniest stories, and please don't be offended, my UK viewers, when I went to England for boot camp, we were talking about some old silly fashion trends, and one of them that came up was the fanny pack. And we're talking about, you know, wearing it to the amusement park, wearing it when you go jogging. And one of the gals from the UK came over and she's like, I knew Americans were disgusting, but you were all filthy. I can't believe you're discussing this in front of Doug Schoen. And so we were just horrified. We're like, oh my gosh, what did we say? And so come to find out, a word here that's really common and silly is very offensive there. And so you really want to make sure you look into things like that when you switch countries, so that accidental blunders don't cost you building a clientele. So that would be my heads up for that. And also, if anyone is from the country that she mentioned moving to, if you have some tips for her, that would be some great ways to network. And if you're watching this, a recording of the broadcast, feel free to reach out to her on Facebook.
Yes.
I also think, Holly, coming from another country can be very exotic and very exciting for the clients.
Yes.
A new idea, a new perspective, a new shape. So I actually feel like that could be a real marketing advantage.
Absolutely.
If you treat it with confidence, put your nail work out. I also believe the way you wear your nails as a nail professional is your ultimate calling card, because most clients, when I'm in the salon, clients are frozen in indecision. What color, what design, what should I do? Oh my God, I'm going to an event, advise me. But make it simple for the client by keeping your own nails up to date with the latest color and design. Because how many times do you hear the client say, oh, what are you wearing? I love that.
At least one a day.
Yes.
Exactly. So those points of difference, moving from a new place, bring some new excitement to your client's life. Mm-hmm. That's a power tool for you.
Absolutely.
Really is.
Use it to your marketing advantage.
And suggesting new things to your clients. One of my biggest, I think, self-accomplishments, or things that is like my yes moments, is when you have a client that's come in and always worn like a Forever French, or always worn a nude, or just the same color every single time, and you talk them into trying a color, or you talk them into trying art, or like I have a gal that used to wear nothing but a nude color, and then I talked her into going to a plum color, and then we started on glitter on one finger, and now we're glitter on all 10 fingers. Like I love that when you help them see themselves a little differently, that suggesting those new things.
Absolutely.
Take them on a ride.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Should we take a look at our next pillar?
Yes, our next pillar is commitment. Jan, would you like to take that from there?
Yeah, I mean, listen, commitment means you pick your path, and you decide who you want to be. Who do I want to be? What's my commitment? And I remember back when we were just out of the garage, when we got into our first ever facility, we decided who we wanted to be. We wanted to be focused and a partner with the nail professional. We wanted to make breakthrough innovation that would empower them to take and satisfy all the needs of every client. We wanted to have a fashion base so that, on our left brain side, we were science geeks and really focused on what was going on in the lab and all those new molecules and new ideas. But on the other side, we didn't want to follow the trends. We wanted to create the trends. And the only way you can create them is to, A, be committed to it, study it, be a part of it, lead it. And that's when we started to do our very first runway show, which was going on 23 years ago. It was our first show. But our commitment was to base architecture mixed with fashion to combine a customized approach for the client's beauty statement, not cookie cutter. The C&D approach was never like learn one way and then cookie cutter it out on every person. Rather, it was a commitment to the individuality of the client need, meaning we analyzed their nail type, their skin type, their lifestyle, their commitment to a maintenance schedule, and then find that combination. To me, that's what it's all about in our profession. That's the biggest part of being a professional, is using our professional judgment to find the best, most protective, long-lasting, and beautiful combination for every single client. So our commitment is nails, nail health, nail innovation, mixed with creative thinking, high fashion, to find that new color, to find that new way, and then customized beauty for every single client. So now that I know what our commitments are, in every meeting, in every interaction, at every show, doesn't matter who we're talking to, we know why we are there. We know what our mission is. And it's interesting in business because we're clear about that path, crystal clear, but every now and then new ideas come in, right? New opportunities come your way. Somebody calls you with maybe a new opportunity. You have to analyze those new ideas to make sure that they support your path and support your commitment. But don't veer off the path too far. You can experiment, veer off, try it, but always know who you are, what you stand for, what your mission is as a salon owner, as a nail professional, as a business professional. And if you stick to your guns, as I feel I really have in 40 years, that path has been very, very clear, very exciting, lots of changes, but it is a commitment that is unwavering for me and on behalf of my company.
And I'd like to add, along with commitment, you have to have a level of fearlessness, because you have to be willing to ask those questions of the client, offer those things, be willing to listen to the person that called you with the new idea. And you have to be fearless about and open-minded, not to just shut it all down and be like, well, we've always done it this way. Well, if you've always done it that way, you're not going to learn anything new and you're not going to expand.
Absolutely. And we've got some great comments. One is, once you know what your values are and what you stand for, it's easier to make difficult decisions. That's a really good addition.
Yes.
Who said that?
That is Diane Diaz.
Oh.
Diane Diaz. Okay, you have to put that on Instagram. I want to hear that whole sentence again.
Yes, thank you,
awesome.
Diane. Do you want to repeat that again?
It's once you know what your values are and what you stand for, it is easier to make difficult decisions by going back to those values and asking if you are continuing to reflect and stand by them.
Okay, Diane, I follow you on Instagram. I expect to see that on there. Jan's going to be looking for it too.
You captured the essence of commitment for absolutely.
It is.
Excellent.
Perfectly.
And some other comments that we had: clients appreciate your commitment to cleanliness. Clients appreciate your commitment to the health of their natural nail. Clients appreciate when you run on time for their appointments. So there are a lot of different ways that you can exemplify commitment in the salon.
Yes.
Love those. Those are the perfect examples. Yeah, I love, whoever mentioned being timely, it's funny that when you are timely, when you start an appointment on time and you end it on time, what you're inherently doing is you're training your client to the same standard of timeliness. If you waver on that, you open the door to let them waver. So it's very interesting that we have to model our own commitments.
Yes, and if you are going to charge a late fee or a cancellation fee, I know a lot of salons, if you're 15 minutes late, you either need to reschedule or you'll miss part of your service. If you're going to do that, then you have to have the ethical flip of that. So, for example, if I have a client come in and she's new and she doesn't know what is on her nails and it takes me a little longer to get it off than I expect, and so I'm texting the next client, letting them know, hey, I'm going to be running, 15, 20 minutes behind. Can I reschedule you to later? Or is it do you have time for me to run behind? And I will gift you a complimentary upgrade on your design to make up for your time. So you have to be conscious of that give and take and remember not to be a hypocrite.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Should we hit that fourth pillar?
Yes, the fourth pillar is professionalism.
My favorite.
Yes.
My favorite. Well, for me, being in this business isn't about just selling a good or delivering a class. It's about making the industry a better place. And we've always had a commitment at C&D where we believe that our mission every day is to advance the state of the industry through our behavior. And our behavior is committed to doing the right thing, protecting the natural nail. You mentioned it earlier. Making systems that really empower the pro to be the true professional, to custom service their client. From the time we started our business, my brother Jim and I got involved in every association we could get involved in. I've sat on every board. The ABA, back in the day, American Beauty Association, the Nail Manufacturers Council, the Professional Beauty Association, and today, doing the right thing is I'm going on my 6th year of being a founding board member of Beauty Changes Lives. BCL, as it's known, is the most amazing 501c3 foundation that I really want everyone to know about. At BCL, they are committed to educating, exposing, and really elevating the perception of what it means to be a beauty professional and a nail professional. Our dream at BCL is that one day somebody will go to their husband or go to their parents and say, I want to be a nail professional. And the family jumps up and down.
Right.
You couldn't have chosen a richer, more rewarding career than entering beauty. So BCL is a foundation that protects the legacy for all of us. It protects the future of our industry. It helps us to recruit the brightest young talent to enter the industry through scholarships, through mentoring, and through philanthropy. BCL.org, if you want to know more information of how to contribute or how to secure for yourself an advanced scholarship through BCL. Continue your education and you can win a scholarship and let it all be paid by BCL. So professionalism to me is doing the right thing, modeling best practice, and giving back, paying it forward through organizations like BCL. I'm really excited about it. I hope you'll check it out.
That is a fabulous organization. And thank you for starting that, helping found that. Holly put a link into the comments so everybody can go check that out.
I also posted a link to the scholarship page. There are actually scholarships for licensed professionals for your continuing education classes.
Excellent.
Yeah. I hate to say it's like free money. If you're creative, all you have to do is write an essay, do a quick video. It goes against a panel of judges. They name the recipients, but you can win up to $1,000 to cover your trip for a class, your materials, the cost of the class. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a really cool opportunity. And we have a great couple comments in the chat. One is mentioning professionalism and being consistently professional is paramount. And I think consistency in that professionalism is a really good point. Another is education is the key. Be open to new ideas and not shun them. And that's part of being a professional, continuing your education.
Totally.
We had another one.
Professionalism equals a full book and
Yes.
loyal clientele.
Yes. So, and kind of something to tag on to that is, you know, treat, I guess, how do I want to say this? Basically, dress and act in a professional manner that attracts the type of clientele you want.
Yes.
Spot on.
I don't know how to say it
No,
better than that.
exactly.
So
It's true.
pretty much project the image of the type of person that you want coming to you in the salon.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I see that all the time when we're out in the field, we're at a trade show, we're at a class.
Mm-hmm.
I see my gorgeous C&D education ambassadors walk in the room with their head high, their shoulders back, their nails spectacular, the pride, the confidence, the passion that they exude. It attracts people everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
And the same is true in the salon. I have always found, by the way, that the nail professional, even in a full service salon, is the most powerful influencer within that salon. You think about the constant hand holding, the direct eye contact, the power of your communication ability to gain new clients, to reinforce the importance of your salon, should never be misunderstood or underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
So use that power in a positive way, in a professional way, to elevate everyone around you within the salon. Never underestimate that power. It's very strong.
And that's a great point. Morgan in the comments mentioned that as well. Professionalism includes talking your colleagues up. It includes being professional as a coworker. Another from Karen, maintaining high standards always. It behooves you to be professional everywhere you go. If you don't have time to do your nails today and you're going through the checkout line at the grocery store and it's your client's daughter, she'll be like, oh, look at those trashy nails. I'm going to have to tell my mom something's up with that lady. You know, and with social media, you never know when someone's going to snap a picture of you and be like, can you believe, look at these nails? And, you know, it was so unprofessional of her to be there. And I just want to kind of really quickly tie that into social media. Professionalism also applies to your social media. You want to make sure that you either have a completely separate personal realm and business realm, or if you are allowing clients on your personal page, it needs to be kept professional. That means we're not falling down drunk in our photos, we're not chugging a bottle of wine in our photos, our boobs aren't hanging out half of the photos. So keep in mind that professionalism extends to the digital realm outside of just sitting at your table.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember the days teaching in schools. I would go down with a water bottle, and if they're bent over doing a pedicure and I'm getting mooned, they're getting sprayed. So, you know, it's something to be conscious of. Being professional is everything. It's every aspect.
Just say no to crack in the front and in the back.
Well, and then Holly, take another cue from Nellie, who, genius that he is, he actually had custom shirts made for himself that were a little longer in the back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He is the pedicure king.
Yes.
So it's awesome. That's professional.
Yes, absolutely. And there are all kinds of smocks. You can wear an apron backwards.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many different options that there are just no excuses for that. And my favorite is always when you're in a salon and the person doing the pedicure is, you know, doing your pedicure and you're just like, I can almost see your belly button. And I'm not tipping you for that. Like, you know, sorry. So if that is your fashion choice, then have an alternative for your pedicures. Because you can be fashionable and trendy when you're cutting hair or sitting at the nail table, and kind of make sure that you protect your fashion choice and your trendiness with professionalism when you're doing a pedicure.
Yes.
Maybe see it through the client's eyes, trade places, see what the view is. So that you can be proactive on, maybe you didn't even think about it from that perspective, but we have.
I think it's a good idea for all nail professionals to take once in a while, sit on the other side of the table or sit on the other side of the pedicure throne so you can see what the client sees and be like, oh, I really don't like that view. Let me change that.
Yes. And before I go into the salon or before I go into a class that I'm teaching, I stand in front of the mirror and I bend all the way forward, half forward.
Yes.
So that I can tell what it's going to look like when I bend forward.
Yes.
And that gives me...
You can do your calisthenics.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then it's a workout and being professional.
Exactly.
Morgan suggests a high neckline so that it shows off her neck jewelry, which is a great idea. Smile from Karen. Smiling doesn't cost you anything, but it gives people a lot. And that's really true, especially with professionalism. If you're having to inform someone of something unfortunate or discuss something unpleasant in the salon, if you're smiling at them, it really takes the sting out of it.
Yes.
It's not as insulting or, if you have to tell someone, I'm so sorry, we're not going to be able to perform, that pedicure service for you today.
Mm-hmm.
You have this issue with your feet, but I would love to treat you to a manicure in place of that.
Yes.
If you're smiling instead of, ugh, your feet are so crusty, we just cannot. And so a smile, or even if you say the same words, I'm really sorry, we're not going to be able to service you for a pedicure today, but I would be happy to give you a manicure.
I so want to do that now.
Right? So a smile really does make a lot of difference with your professionalism.
Hey, if you're having fun, they're having fun.
Yes.
It's really true. And even in a difficult circumstance, you address it straight on, be honest with them, and then turn it around and make it fun.
Yes. All right, we have one interesting question before we wrap up from Claire. She is curious if you've ever stopped a set of nails from going out when you've done the fashion shows. If you've ever just been like, no, wait, those cannot go out.
That's such an interesting question. I'll tell you the answer is probably no. I can't immediately come up with an example, but the reason I say wait a minute, I just thought of one. Okay, hold on. So in today's world, the answer is no, because we're so far in advance with working on the nails and getting approvals. Like we start 6 weeks in advance. We're already halfway done with some of the nails we're doing for runway. But back in the day, back in the old day, okay, you're going to love this story. So back in the old days, we didn't have the design lab. But I had a phenomenal nail professional here in California who was doing a lot of our production work and nails. So for one of our shows, she FedExed the nails. They got stuck in Tennessee. I'm not looking this up.
Oh.
We had to charter an airplane to deliver the nails to New York. A storm hit and the nails never made it. So a bunch of us had to do neon snake print. It was for baby cat. We stayed up all night long. I was doing snake print as well. And I'll never forget that next morning the stylist went, and you think this looks like snake print? And we all completely had a heart attack. And talk about getting on top of difficult situations. The next season is when we developed our design lab. That was our first design lab, and we learned you don't depend on FedEx at Fashion Week. So
no kidding.
For the memory on that, it was a nightmare.
Nice.
Hey, sometimes it's nice to look back and see how far you've come.
Exactly.
For sure.
Thank you guys.
Big lesson.
Yes.
End with that.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate your time every month that you come in with us. We appreciate you, Jan, and your time and hanging out. And we have some really, really exciting special guests coming this year. So definitely keep an eye on our Facebook page under events, because we'll be posting some names as they are getting confirmed.
Yes.
Is there something you wanted to add before we close out completely?
One of the comments in the information that Jan sent to us, under all of these 4 pillars of success, I kind of came down to one phrase that stuck out as like I think our closer, was how it's crafting the future. Mm-hmm. You know, building on those 4 pillars of success crafts your future.
Yes.
Yes, for sure, Holly. I feel like everything we've talked about is the future reflected, meaning we go back and learn from the pillars, we build a strong foundation, and then we reflect it into the future.
Yes.
To continue that growth and to continue the fun. But ladies, I want to say congratulations to you for NailOn. You two are consummate professionals.
Thank you.
And
Thanks.
everyone who's chiming in, I thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time. Let's do it again.
Thank
Awesome.
you. And until next time,
Nail on.
Nail on. Bye.